It is great to see you, and as you can tell, my voice is going 404. Technically, it hasn't crashed yet. It's only transitioning to a state of inaudibleness. So I hope you'll bear with me, but I literally did crawl out of bed to be with you, because unlike Obama, I keep my promises. And it is such a thrill for me every time I get to speak to the grassroots, to the people who have been demonized and trashed and cursed, and whose death has been predicted over and over and over again. It is such a joy for me to be with you because I am AFP. Why did you spend the whole day here? Out of all of the things that you could have done. Because we wake up each and every day and we count our blessings. Because we know no matter how those progressive architects try to screw this country up, it is still the greatest place on God's green earth to live and work and raise our families. Now, if I faint on stage, you'll know it is not fake. Like the painters on the stage of you-know-who. Speaking of which, I know many of you forced yourselves like I did to watch that phony baloney crony-in-chief stand in Boston. His 30 people behind him. The applause maidens, I call them, or the human bobbleheads. I'm going to start. Anybody want to come up here and do this? I think conservatives need to do this. I think we need to see more of those Republicans have their applause maidens. As he lies and lies and lies and builds his Jenga tower of lies. I make my kids watch that. And I tell them, never, never, never be like that when you grow up. Think. I don't work this hard. I don't get up every day to raise my kids, and I know you better than I ever, to be sheeple.
Yes.
Sheeple is problem and education and evangelism and activism is the solution. That is why it is so important that you are here. The fraternity, friendships, the connections that you make. Don't leave this room until you've met one new person and until you've resolved to leave this room and try to recruit 5 more people. Actually, wait, 6. Because 6 is the magic number. You know, I created more jobs last year that Obama enrolled in Obamacare. What's that number? You know, for the last several years, I've gone across the country and talked about my book, Culture of Corruption. And time and again, the warnings have proven so true, and I take no joy in it. I take no joy in the fact that it's taken this long for the laggard mainstream media to see through these people in Chicago on the Potomac. And I know that all of you here in Illinois cringe when you have to hear about the Chicago way. And that it is such, excuse my language, but I'm sick, so it's okay, that they've turned the legacy of the land of Lincoln and the name of Ronald Reagan into a crack game. That's why we're here today. rhetoric and miserable reality is that it is such a symbol of what Thomas Sowell called the vision of the anointed, and what Hayek captured in the fatal conceit, the idea that these clueless technocrats could actually fix anything, could actually build anything. The idea that government could do better than private market. Milton Friedman constructed a better teachable moment than Obamacare now, up in flames. And we all know, because each and every one of us, I am sure, warned about it as it was being rammed down our throat. We screamed at the top of our lungs. You argued with your liberal neighbors, the co-workers, the employers, the relatives. They can't hear us. They can't hear us. And now they're getting these. This is my insurance cancellation. This is my death notice. Because unlike so many of the protected elites on Capitol Hill or the corporate media, I am like many of you, a self-employed solo worker who bought her health insurance on the individual market. There are between 15 and 20 million of us. We are not nobodies. You can't write us off. And I would like Monday to be declared a national day of mourning. If you are on Twitter on Monday, and we've already had so many people tweet pictures of their death notices for their insurance plans that they couldn't keep even though they liked. But I want Monday, for those of you who are in my position, to retweet out your death notice with the hashtag My Health Plan Died. Okay? And then thank you. No, I'm not Marco Rubio. I know you know it. I see the strategy now of these Zelenskyite. They are pent. Because they can't do what they've done to marginalize, demonize so many of us who are in the public eye as your right-wing radical terrorists. Because these 15 to 20 million people aren't just Republicans and conservatives, people who have opposed Obamacare all along. Many of them are left-wing musicians and freelancers and artists who put on their Obamacare pom-poms, and if they would stand behind. And now, just like so many of us, they're screwed. And we can't simply rest on our laurels and say, see, told you so. We need to connect the dots now with these people and make them understand that Obamacare is the exception, not the rule. The rule, not the exception. That must be the Kristen and Dana gave me this Sam boost. You know what I mean. It's the rule, not the exception. They need to now see what's happening with Obamacare and look back at what happened to the porculus. Trillions of dollars. I went up in smoke, up in flames. What did it do to the employment rate? It lower it. You've seen that chart, right? The chart from the Council of Economic Advisors, the Democrats. Oh, the chart was very specific with numbers. Nancy Pelosi loves numbers, don't you? Right? And then it mapped by year after all the stimulus pending. Unemployment rate. Theoretical unemployment rate. Cash for clunkers. Every government intervention. Oh, not the exception. And it's our job. It's our job to reach out to the people who are now hurting and feeling their impact, feeling like they were sold a bill of goods, and put a hand on their shoulder. And in my case, I can say, I feel your pain. I'm in your same position. I've been trying to get through the damn Colorado exchange for more than a month. I've got nothing back. Obamacare has resulted in uninsuring the insured. And as we all know, this is a feature, not a bug. In my book and in much of my writing, I've talked about the thuggery of this administration. And that thuggery is a culture and a political ethos with which you are so terribly familiar. Tenure after tenure of corrupt Democratic governors. And unfortunately, we can be frank here at AFP because we're not wedded to one party or the other. And you know as well as I do that so much of the reason that we're in the mess we're in is because of Republicans who have capitulated. Who have surrendered, who have rolled over and bent over and sold out their constituents and sold out every last free market constitutional principle. You know that Robin Thicke song, Blurred Lines? That's the problem with the Republican Party. But they've established this halfway particles who think that the way back to the majority and the way back to electoral victory is to turn themselves into Democratic Party life. No, hell no. So you've got a set of unique politicians here in Illinois that AFP is working very hard on. And all politics is local. And the biggest, most effective impact that you can make is in your own backyard. And you have got these progressives, and damn do I hate this word. It's the most dishonest word in the English language. Regressive. That's right, comedy too. I love it. See, I love AFP buddies. Because you tell it like it is, and I like that. You've got people here who want to distract from the fact that Chicago is a hellhole. That you've got failing public schools, pension liabilities as big as Mount Everest, budget shortfall, quality of life problems, people fleeing the state for anywhere else because this is not an environment that is conducive to innovators and entrepreneurs, small business people, and families. But you're here to hold eco-wackos. We all have eco-wackos. We have this brand of eco-wacko out there trying to block fracking and spreading lies and green propaganda and scaring people and costing jobs. There's always a bad rap of conservatives and limited government activists. A lot of the times I see the Republican establishment type. They're so apologetic. They always apologize for themselves. They can't stand up for what they believe in. They always got candy coated, sugar coated, whitewashing. They always have to make clear that, I care. And then they have to put these adjectives in front of it. I'm a compassionate, really? Why you gotta be so defensive? And also, why do we have to adopt all these progressive phrases for the children? Because you know what? I'll say it. I care about my children. And belief in conservatism and free market principles is supposed to be about championing the ability for individuals to unapologetically pursue their self-interests, knowing that voluntary associations and private individuals and private communities of faith do a hell of a lot better than technocrats who can't even put up a website. So one issue that's been very near and dear to me, and I've talked about it with a lot of AFP groups. I just want to touch on it a little bit because I think it is ultimately the most fundamental thing that we can do to turn this country around, and that is concentrating on education of our children. And I don't know if there are any activists here from Stop Common Core Illinois. A lot of you know me from TV. A lot of you know me from running off my big mouth the last 20 years. But the most important job in my life is as my children's primary educational provider, PEP. You can use that. So it is not just talking points for me. And I know you all have a good BS detector. You watch TV enough. You know it's just... And who is really preaching from what they are living. And I have a 13-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son. And we've moved away from the East Coast because I didn't like my educational choices there. I've been very blessed to be able to choose from every type of education. I went to public school until 8th grade. I went to a Catholic school, a private school. I went to a crazy, crazy liberal arts school that made me what I am. Thank you, Oberlin. And my children have been enrolled in private schools, religious schools, charter school, which my 13-year-old is now in, which is dedicated to a very hardcore classical curriculum, which is located in not a very nice part of Colorado Springs, but which serves a very diverse student population, kids from Fort Carson, a lot of minority children who are on reduced lunch program, kids of all races, but who are bound by a common thread of parents who exercise their own choice to pursue academic excellence for their children. And now with my 9-year-old, we're doing the ultimate do-it-yourself homeschooling. I don't like it. When a Democrat or Republican tell me that they care more about my children than I do. My face. I can't. So whether it's Arnie Duncan, boo, please go ahead. All right, now, you ready for more movies? Or Jeb Bush. That's right. These people can shove it. They can shove it with their common core. There is nothing common about our children. And this federal top-down vehicle is nothing but the latest manifestation of progressive control freaks trying to get into our club. Yeah, they are freaks. That's right. Trying to get into our classrooms. This is the Jenga tower of lies, only second in height to Obamacare. And they all talk the same way. They say it's got the same talking points all down. These were voluntary bottom-up standards developed by a partnership of parents and teachers and local leaders. These standards are internationally benchmarked to create higher order thinkers and workers for the 21st century. No, bull crap. Now, when you ask these people, what countries exactly are these called standards internationally benchmarked to? It's like visiting the Obamacare website. Okay? And the problem with a lot of the debate, now there wasn't a debate about Common Core until just a mom and just a grandma and just bloggers and just activists started speaking up. It was a completely grassroots-led movement. And the problem with a lot of this debate is you can't encapsulate it into 3 minutes on cable TV. I find this incredibly frustrating. That's one of the reasons why I take so much satisfaction and pleasure in having new media and having the blogosphere and the Twitter sphere as means of communication. Because the level of debate about education is so freaking superficial. And one of the reasons why it is because you've got these propagandists who come from both big business and big government. And they have expropriated, they exploit now the language of academic excellence. So it seems go with Robert Small. This is my hero. Parent in Baltimore, Maryland, who would not, he could not stand it. He wasn't just going to sit there and watch these educrats and their dog and pony show. And he said, parents, don't stand for that. Don't stand. He stood up and questioned the entire Kabuki theater, and they threatened him with arrest. There have been other parents across the country who've been threatened with gag orders. Their principals have told them not to talk to other parents about COVID court. There was a parent in my home state of Colorado who was slapped with a no trespass order and told not to come to any more school board meetings because she was questioning the huge edutech boondoggle. This is another thing you have to watch as well. Because these rackets are not just fiscal boondoggles. What it really is about is digging into your family privacy and data. The edutech market is $80 billion market. And they have now created this virtual monopoly and alliance between big business and big government. And I hate to tell you this, it's not just Bill and Melinda Gates on the left. Rupert Murdoch has an interest in a group called Wireless Gem, which is providing a lot of back-end technology so they can create this cloud. If only it would work as well as Obamacare did. Right? And then you've got these tech companies that are raking in millions. Pearson. Let them tell you that it's not about curriculum, that it's not about control. It's always about control. It's about three things. Control, control, control.
Get smart.
I want to tell you that this is very personal to me. And I know that whatever background we come from, that there's something that we probably have in common. And that is how much we cherish education as a means to success. My parents came here with nothing. But they had their intellectual capital, and they had a desire, and they had appreciation for the opportunity to make it in America. Not simply some entitlement that had to be handed to them. All they wanted was to be able to work. Their goal. And for my father, who was a neonatologist, who had his residency at Johns Hopkins, and my mom, was a public school teacher in New Jersey for 30 years, God bless her. They knew that education was key to their kids' success. How could it be a key to success now? When these kids were being taught junk and ideological propaganda, and with teachers' unions, like your Chicago Teachers Association here. Taxpayers do not see their role as imparters of knowledge. They see your children as their junior lobbyists. And their pawns and their future bobbleheads. So much rot come out of Chicago. And one of the pieces of rot that came out of Chicago, the University of Chicago, was a teaching method known as everyday math. And I'm so glad creme de la creme of DC and more elite. And yes, I'll name the school because that's what I do. Bryn Mawr School in Baltimore. She's bringing home these worksheets in first grade, and she's coloring in numbers and cutting them out, pasting them on the paper. Fine, first grade, okay. And by the end of second grade, she was doing the same exact worksheet. I thought, not right. I looked at closer at the worksheet and it said University of Chicago. And I started doing my homework because that's what parents do. And I learned more about everyday math. I went into the curriculum director with my husband, who was very non-perturbed by our perturbedness. And she proceeded to take out this whiteboard and write across it like Glenn Beck, like great friend Glenn Beck. And she explained that everyday math was about making math fun. Because old, boring algorithms were not really good at boosting girls' self-esteem. And I asked her about a particular methodology of teaching a multiplication called lattice multiplication. My husband, who has more PhDs than he knows what to do with, and is far more mathematically inclined than I am, and I'm sure many of you have heard the joke that I'm the least mathematically inclined Asian American in America. And she said, oh, that's multiplication. And she took two numbers that she was multiplying, and then she had this grid that sort of looked like the Obamacare bureaucracy. And she was taking the numbers all the way around and through the lattice, and it was taking a hell of a long time for her to multiply these two numbers. And she was really happy with herself when she collected the numbers that were on the answer. I don't know what the hell she was doing. There's the answer. It's the same as if you did it the traditional way. I'm like, how much time do you think we have? And more to the point, what is the point? Oh, well, this was the way that non-European people did math. It would be good to teach the kids an alternative strategy. Oh, you'll always hear that from the educators. Strategy. But they don't do math. They do strategy. I did a little bit more research on everyday math, and I learned that the Texas School Board of Education in 2007 dropped the middle school math curriculum, in part because it had questions like that. And it's not an onion parody. It's not a parody, not like parody. It is real. If math were a color, what color would it be? Okay, I don't know what color math is, but I'm seeing red. I ended up writing school. And that is when I made the decision in 2007 to leave the East Coast. I said, don't wait. You don't have to wait. We're leaving. This is why these education battles are so important to me in person. Because I have been in your shoes. I know that there are many parents out there who have felt the sting of being threatened. No matter what it is, stand up. When you're dealing with teachers who are friends, other parents who are just plain apathetic. Apathy is one of the biggest problems in our country, isn't it? Yeah. And every day, whether it's education or Obamacare, income tax issue, the environment, the culture, our national security, and you think to yourself, why don't they get it? Why don't they put the same premium on freedom and individual responsibility and the greatness of our country? Why aren't these things as important to them as they are to us? And it's only when it hits them in their pocketbook, only when they finally get one of these in the mail, that some of them wake up and see the light. And it is the job of conservatives and conservative activists to welcome them when they're unelected. To do everything that we can to pry those eyes open. And the one thing I want to leave you on with here is not to despair. There are a lot of these internecine battles now going on the right. A lot of navel gazing, a lot of sniping in public about which strategy was right, which strategy was wrong. I'm proud to tell you that in the 20 years that I've been in this business, I've never described myself as a strategist. I think you can tell. Way I pronounce that, I hate that word. I don't have a strategy. I get up in the morning. I know that you feel the same way. I know right from wrong. I know what's good for my kids, bad for my kids. I know what's good for my business and my employees and what's bad for my business and my employees. I know how many fathers intended this country to be and how far opposite your path you travel. But I also know that every voice counts. Everyone counts. Journalists, so many of them inspired by our late dear friend Andrew Breitbart. You can be at the grocery store and retweet a tweet. And those two letters, RT, are magical. They can be the most effective means of getting your voice across. And sometimes it means you're saying something completely new. You're bringing new information to the table. Or you're saying something that we all know is true. But the RT has done an amazing thing. Twitter is an incredible battle space. You know, Obama brought you Twitchy. I brought you Twitchy. This has been one of the most fun adventures and enterprises I've ever been involved with. Started it in March of last year, and we've just watched it really take off. And I have to say that it is in the spirit of our founding fathers that any person with 0 followers or 1 follower on Twitter can break through, can get under the skin of some unhinged liberal celebrity, right? Or an anti-gun nut going on some rant trying to exploit a tragedy. When you have deepest doubts about where our country is headed, you feel like you don't have good choices on the ballot, when you feel that the people that you've elected have betrayed you, never feel that it is futile. You have the power to make a difference. And you know, just like the great debrief